Hi guys, welcome to the Don't Talk to Me podcast. I'm Brad.
I'm Ashlyn.
I'm Venus.
We're here to talk to you about many things pop culture related. Well, the first thing we have to say is Venus is back from her sabbatical, and she is not going to be leaving Bruce.
I'm here to stay. Sorry.
Yes, she had migraines last week. So was it migraine? It was migraine, right?
It was mostly me just being fucking sick of moving house, but yeah, technically it was a migraine.
That's a stress migraine. It happened. Yeah. A lot has happened this week, pop culture wise, especially in the Rooster Teeth circles.
Yes.
Bruce left Funhaus. Man of Medan came out, and James and Elise have been playing that. V's Wet Dream of a Rooster Teeth video came out. What was that even about? You sent me the link, but I didn't even look at it.
I think it was like the first podcast we did. We were talking about Barb and Lindsay getting made into Skeksis.
Mm-hmm.
I think
from the
I
Dark
remember
Crystal.
that. Did they dab or floss or something?
They
did it.
They friggin' flossed, and it was so great. And it was just, yeah. I have a bit of an obsession with Lindsay and Barb. I think they're fucking great.
It happens.
So they did the cosplay of it, and like how they put the cosplays together. It was freaking amazing, which included Barb just like because she got her makeup done before Lindsay, and it took them like 3 hours to do the makeup because it's all these prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really, really cool to actually see how it all came together because I'm obsessed with cosplay and I can't do it very well, but people that do it well, I'm just like,
oh. Look, I am jealous of people who can look like beautiful goddesses, but I'm here like I think the only character I could play is the Blob from X-Men or like maybe do you remember Choji from Naruto?
Yes.
Yes.
I reckon you could pull off No Face so long as you could find a mask that was already done. So No Face
and a cloak that was for some reason like big. I'd have to find like one of those. You remember those cool hoop skirts that they used to wear in Elizabethan times? I'd wear one of those. It's like a full pop-up tent of my body. I'd be like slinging around like, bitch, let me eat your pussy.
Except not.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. Oh God. So yeah,
in this video, before I lose the point and we go on a tangent, people are like, what was she going to say? So Barb's literally in her like full face makeup done, all the prosthetics on, but just in her tracksuit, just chilling, walking around San Diego. It's brilliant.
That is.
Do recommend.
It sounds very, what's that word? Juxtaposed.
It does sound good.
Juxtaposed. Yes. Last week we talked about Lizzie McGuire for a hot minute, and we were talking about how it was very formative in your life, V, and our childhood as well, and how it's coming back, and it's going to focus on Hilary Duff as a 30-year-old woman.
I am so excited.
I personally didn't think that women were allowed to exist after 30.
I've heard they're not allowed to.
Yeah,
I've got 3 years left of existing, and then I'm fucking out. Like
that's it.
Look, I mean, like with the climate crisis going on, maybe that's for the best.
Maybe. I mean, I have Crohn's disease. I'm pumping a lot of methane out into the atmosphere. So
we should take you around back and put you down. Oh God!
Please.
Speaking of
probably for the best, probably the best thing for the environment. Let's be fair.
Venus, did you finally get round to watching Endgame? You talked about getting scammed maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And it came out maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe.
Yep. I've officially seen Endgame.
Okay.
I've now seen every Marvel film. Yeah.
How did you feel?
I had a tissue box next to me because everyone's like, no, you're going to fucking cry. You're going to lose it. It's horrible. I didn't cry.
No, I didn't cry.
I don't know if I'm like heartless, but like even like I really like Robert Downey Jr. And even fucking spoiler alert for those like me who haven't seen
Endgame, the highest grossing film next to Avatar.
Me.
If you haven't seen it, you don't deserve to see it when it comes out. Well, it's already fucking out. You have no excuse.
So,
yes.
So yeah, it's now had like a month on digital release. So like, fucking, if you haven't seen it, that's your problem.
Exactly.
So yeah, when Tony dies, I was like, oh, this is sad. And then I was like, am I going to cry? And then I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and that was it. And I cried everything. So
I cried when Spider-Man died because that seemed like a more relatable character because he's just a person, whereas Robert Downey Jr. is this billionaire, and he's lived his entire life, and he's, but you see a child die and it makes you cry, especially when you thought they were going to win.
Yeah, and I think it's just the fact that he's such a good Peter Parker, and for me growing up, Spider-Man was pretty much the only comic book that I ever really Batman, obviously, but I knew that more from the Adam West show than the comic. So Spider-Man was the only real comic thing that I followed as a kid, and X-Men. So for me, it was that's fucking heartbreaking. I love this character. Don't you fucking dare.
It was really hard. Well, I mean, he died to save him, and now they're dead again.
Yeah.
Because Sony and Marvel are splitting up. They've broken up. Especially over Spider-Man. It is unfortunate that they led their entire direction into saving this one character. Well, all of the characters, but we only really who else did you care about? Scarlet Witch, maybe.
Yeah.
That's it.
I like Wanda.
That's fucking it. Yeah, Wanda Maximoff. Not just the Twitter. There's a Twitter account, Wanda Maximoff, which is really funny. They post really good memes. But Scarlet Witch is my favorite character. But yeah, I'm not into it. I'm really not into it.
Yeah. Sorry, and I was upset about Gamora. I thought they would find a way to bring back Gamora, but then they
did. Well,
but she's not there.
She's just different.
But she wasn't at the funeral. So is she back?
She was she's with her sister, isn't she? I thought maybe. Oh wait,
Nebula at the funeral?
Nebula was Nebula on. It's so long ago. I was working at the cinema when it came out, and it played. It literally played for 6 months. It was literally still there when I left. From when I started, it came out. It was. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Was she on the plane with Thor and Peter Quill and Dave Bautista? I don't remember his name. Drax. Was she there? Because I think I remember Nebula being there, but I don't think I remember.
I don't think I do either because I was watching for it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've only seen it once because when it came out in cinemas, I was dating an asshole that went 3 times, but then if I even talked about going without him, it was whole fucking thing. So I didn't get to see it
3 times. He spent 9 hours watching. That's insane. Actually, no, I did too. I went 3 times.
Yeah,
but that's because I got 2 for free. So,
but did you go 3 times without your boyfriend? Because
Yes. Well, considering
but you got it for free.
But I got 3 dates out of it. I took 3 separate dates to see Endgame. And you know what? None of them were Endgame material. At the end of 3 hours, one of them made me so uncomfortable that I was like, can Tony Stark hurry up and blow himself up? Can he fucking die? I want to get out of this cinema right now.
Oh god. I'm nervous about going back into dating because I'm settled now. Because in Bunbury I had the excuse. I used to live in Bunbury. That was where I used to live.
Well, I mean, you're really geolocating yourself because you were like, I now live south of where I used to live.
There is 2 major hubs south of there.
That's true.
And I may or may not be at a major hub. Who knows? But
she's in the outback, everybody.
She lives in a coal mine. That's why she can't get any dick.
Let's put it this way. I am on the lowest tier of NBN. So that's some context for y'all.
Actually, so am I.
I forgot what I was going to go crapping on about now.
I live in Melbourne, and you were on the topic of dating.
Oh, yeah.
And how you used to use being rural as an excuse to not get penis.
Well, I made an excuse not to date in the last bit because I was like, well, I'm moving. I'm not going to, what's the point?
It's fair.
Well, and it's also... I don't want to badmouth Bunbury, but it is the meth capital capital of Australia based on urine testing. So I was kind of like, oh, like I'll pull back. I won't date.
And
But
B's
now
the
I'm
one
like,
who would test the urine. She tested everyone's urine with her mouth.
I
She was
did.
like, this is messy.
Really into
This
piss
is
play.
messy. Really into
That's
piss
how
play.
she knows.
That is not fetish of the week.
That comes later.
Unfortunately. Actually, it might be. We don't know. We random roll. We haven't looked yet.
I know.
But
It's
wait,
a
do you know?
surprise for
I
later.
told you not to look.
I couldn't not look. It's me.
You're a bitch.
But yeah,
speaking
I'm not
of
looking.
bitches.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not looking forward to going back to dating. It's fucking exhausting.
It
Maybe
is.
could you maybe meet someone at your high school reunion?
Oh, gross.
I'm not going to my high school reunion.
Oh, you're not going?
I am not going. For a while, I was like, oh, maybe I will go. Like, it'll be really great to see all these people of like 5% of whom I like as people and 95% of who I would really like to see as like some sort of social experiment and see what happened to them. Because I'm nosy
capital of the
and
world.
not where my high school is. My high school is in a nicer place. But I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So my high school boyfriend was very not nice, not a good person. So I was like, do I go and just like put up with it and like see how far I've come and be like, yeah, fuck you, you don't affect me anymore. And I'm saying fuck a lot this week on the podcast. Apologies in advance. But then I was kind of like, well, like that's a stressor. And like if I've had like a crappy week, like I don't want to have a panic attack and then have to deal with having a panic, like a whole thing. I don't know how I'm going to get triggered, and I just too hard basket. Even though I think I would be fine, I don't know it, and it's like, well, if I like, I'm not 100%, I don't want to do that. And also, like, there's not a lot of people I like. Some of the people that were in my friends group aren't going as well. So like one of my like closest friends from high school, Owen, is going to be off in England. So, and then like my other, like close friend from high school, Dan, I don't even know if I don't know. He's a free spirit. I never know what the fuck he's doing.
Meth capital of the world.
No,
Sorry.
he's just a musician. He does psychedelic folk music. So
whenever I hear the word free spirit, I think of that movie with horses, Spirit, and I never watched it because it was about horses. And I never want to see a movie about it. Like I saw a Saddle Club episode once, and never again, never again, never fucking again, ever again. I hate horses.
I'm currently saving money for a horse. Yeah,
well,
different people.
Then we can never live together because I'm allergic to them.
Well, I wouldn't have a horse living with me because I don't like snakes, and where you keep horses, there are snakes. I don't want to live there. I'm fine visiting there.
Fun. So where are you putting this horse?
I'll probably just adjust it.
She wanted to talk to you about this.
At your house.
Do you have room in the van
for a horse? Not at all.
Mm.
Not even remotely.
Couldn't it?
I don't even have room for me.
Couldn't it just like, you know how in the Flintstones they have the elephant that comes through the window and they wash their dishes with the trunk? You could do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's handy.
System. The horse comes through and
it just licks our dishes clean for us.
Well, beautiful. I mean, it could. They would. Horses will literally eat themselves to death.
Delicious.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark. But if a horse gets into the feed shed, it's gone. That's a gone girl.
I mean, some of them are good. Like that's the thing though. You have horses where either like they're perfect and they just self-graze and they're really healthy, or you have horses that literally will just gorge on everything and anything.
It's like the difference between me and a normal person.
Yeah.
As you can see, Bradley gorges on the penis. Whereas a normal person would just leave it alone. Leave it alone, Bradley. Leave the penis alone.
I love that you're doing this in Frank's voice.
I thought it was Morgan Freeman.
It is. It's Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
It's white Morgan Freeman. That's my character. If I ever want to do anything really offensive, I go white Morgan Freeman because one, nobody can be mad at Morgan Freeman, and two, Morgan Freeman would never say those things. That's why he has to be white.
Yeah, But you sound like the Frank, because any white person trying to do Morgan Freeman sounds like the guy that does the True Facts videos.
The Tapir.
Yes.
But speaking of things that are gone, girl, Bruce. Yeah, so we got some news this week that Bruce, after his sabbatical, because he took some time off, Bruce from Funhaus, don't know him, go check out the channel. It's pretty good. They're probably the only channel I have notifications on besides Jenna Marbles at the moment, just because their content is, even if the game's boring, the comedy is A+. Like, they're just, the way they talk to each other and the way they interact is very good. And I very much enjoy it. It's just another one of those things that I gorge myself on. But Bruce has decided to leave. He's decided to go off and make his own business, which in entertainment means he's essentially working on his own brand, which is him. He's off doing his own thing, like Twitch and YouTube and all that sort of thing.
That's fun.
He dropped it essentially out of nowhere for the fans, and that's totally fair. You know, that's totally fair by him. He doesn't.
Yes and no. Anything. He went on that sabbatical because I don't know if you saw his exit video.
Yes,
or like the podcast. So yeah, he had a sabbatical and he was going to resign before, but then they're like, no, like take a break, like see how you feel, because obviously there was the stuff before that around Sugar Pine 7. So Sugar Pine 7 have stopped producing through Rooster Teeth as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about this. What happened?
Yeah, so I don't know the full story because I never really followed Sugar Pine that much.
Yeah,
like their content wasn't
too broy for me.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't resonate with it as much as I do like the Rooster Teeth stuff and a bit of the Funhaus stuff. But they basically were getting really burnt out, and it was just the production schedule that they were having to keep up with. They were just getting really burnt out creatively. So it sounded like it was a mutual thing. Like they were like, we can't keep doing this, and Rooster Teeth would have been like, well, if you can't keep doing this, we'll just part ways, and
Yeah.
And that'd be hard. Like I worry about that. So I kind of have been wanting to do like Twitch and start some stuff, particularly when I build my PC that will actually cope with it, because right now my GPU is a piece of garbage. But that worries me. Like when you hear about people doing streaming and stuff, like you have to do it every day. Like, and that means being on the ball like every day, or at least whatever your schedule's going to be.
Yeah.
And then if for some reason, for whatever reason, if that schedule stops, like the amount of people that stop following or that they don't subscribe the next month, and just, it would be exhausting to have to be on like all the time in that way that you have to be for doing, the production stuff through small producers like Rooster Teeth, or by doing your own stuff.
I tried streaming every day. I did this thing where I streamed every day for a month. You probably, you were there.
Yeah.
And the streams were good, and I really enjoyed streaming, and I'll probably do streaming sometime soon. But I felt like when I was by myself, I felt really lonely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I didn't have the chat. It was that I didn't have because the chat was pretty good. Like I had pretty consistent viewers. Like me talk about pretty consistent, like 20. But 20
that's still good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't have to like advertise and shit like that. But I felt really lonely because I was trying to talk, especially the Australian Twitch community isn't very nice, I might say. I went on a thing because I started getting donations, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about turning off donations just because I'm feeling really guilty every time that I get donations. And they were all like, oh, humble brag, you're getting donations. I'm like, not what this is about. If you worked harder, you could get them. Anyway, what do you think about this like creative anxiety that I'm getting? And they were all like, stop humble bragging. I'm like, that's not what this is about. It's literally, this is a Twitch community page. This happens in the Twitch community. Where else am I going to put it? The Grandma's Knitting Club, the Secondhand Items Club. Like there's nothing out there for resources for streamers, because Twitch doesn't do anything like that. They have no Discord for it. They have no, there's nothing for connecting streamers.
Yeah.
At all. And it's hard.
It's all very competitive, I think, as well.
But also that, like, it's so niche. Like, you know, even when you look at your top streamers, like, unless it's game specific, like, it's very difficult to know what to do to get people to really engage with your stream. Like, I think part of it's luck, but I think as well, it's about having, you know, it's about the mix of games that you play, plus personality, plus, like, not so much whether you're getting donations or subscriptions or asking for stuff or like having the graphics that show followers or whatever on your page, but it's about like how does that fit with the games that you have as well as your personality. And like getting that balance is actually really difficult, and some streamers do it terribly. Like I'm not a big XQC fan. I assume that's how you pronounce his name. The dude that got kicked from used to be in
the guy that got his entire team wiped?
Yes.
I don't know that one.
The guy that he plays a lot of Overwatch. I can't remember what league team he was in, but he's in one of the Overwatch league teams. And
he was a champions runner-up.
Yeah.
I don't remember, actually. I probably should.
He said some, I can't remember, he said some really nasty shit on his stream. It was either racist or homophobic. And I was like trying to see why so many people followed him, because I was like, oh, you know, maybe people are being harsh. And I went onto his stream and like I just could not resonate with it at all. Like it just for me seemed really boring, but so many people follow it, so it's about finding, I don't know, it's just really hard finding who your audience is.
Yeah, that's fair. The thing I found was successful on Twitch was streaming for at least 3 hours, the one game. And if you're going to do another game, you have to announce to your audience at the very beginning and in the description that you're going to be playing more than one game. Because I was playing Dauntless, because that had just released at the time. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to take a break. I think I'm going to play some Apex. Down to one viewer from like 40. So it was very difficult. I think if you could get in the I think if you could start like a community channel, maybe even like a group of streamers who all do the same, like we could do Don't Talk to Me Twitch. But I started Gay for Play as one of those between me and Harrison, and Harry got burnt out instantly. So it's really not for everyone. It is not for everyone, because he's like, just talking to people, like it gives me a lot of stress and that sort of thing. And I was like, well, that's fair. I mean, like it can be very daunting, but it can also be extremely rewarding when someone's like, oh, like this and this and this, and they send you links to like interesting stories, and like you get a chance to communicate with people in real time, rather than like on YouTube you get comments and then 12 hours later you'd see them, because the person's from America and you're from Australia and you don't see it until the morning. It's just it's way better, I think.
And I think it's good finding, like I've found it's a really good way to not so much for me streaming because I haven't really set it up properly yet, but I find it's a really good way to like find your community of people as well on Twitch. So I was watching a really good stream yesterday, which is from an Australian girl who her Twitch is the Aussie girl, and she was posted in the Overwatch group, but she was streaming WoW Classic, and like that was really good. And it's not like it's this well-known stream or anything like that, but it was just good in the sense of like she's posted it on Facebook, like you kind of get a bit of an aesthetic around what her stream's going to be. You go on there and like you have a really good chat, and then you find like other people that she's streaming with, and like I've gone to their channels and been like, oh cool, and like followed them. So it's a good way to like snowball.
Because you're a huge perpetrator of Twitch. I'm not really. I'm really into live streaming. I'm not really into like, unless it's specific people that I know from YouTube. I like streams in the fact that they're like low brain, like no brain sort of like. They can be background music. They can be, they can be, second operation things. I
talk about it being mental chewing gum. It's like mental chewing gum.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's usually what I'm watching in the morning before I go to work.
Yeah, me it's right after work.
Yeah. Well, if only I was getting hours, then maybe I would start doing some Twitch.
I can trade you if you want. You can come do my work if you like.
My job, I was getting like 3 shifts a week. And I was getting, because I'm on Centrelink, I was getting a lot more money than I am now. And now I'm just relying on Centrelink, and Centrelink is pathetic. Needs to be raised. That's not just because someone who's on it. Like, I see parents who are on Centrelink and they can only get youth allowance because Centrelink fucks them over, or they didn't do the paperwork properly because they're disabled. And like, Centrelink is fucked up. And the fact that we've privatized our safety net is so fucking stupid. Like, it is incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, fun stuff, new games, new jobs, everything. This game dropped recently this week. I think it came out. It was available a while ago, but it was only available for us to play, like normal people who don't have like creator stuff. It's called Man of Medan. You might have seen Funhaus playing it, or you might have seen Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie or anyone like that. It's essentially a anthology horror story. So each chapter is going to be a different version of this horror story, which I think is going to be very interesting. The first one is about a ghost ship. And essentially this group of 4 teenagers go out diving. And I know spoilers, go out diving, and they discover a wreck of a plane, and then things go downhill from there, and it's pretty scary. Like, I'm not usually... Until Dawn got me. It's by the same people who made Until Dawn.
I was just about to say, I just googled it and I was like, that looks exactly the same.
Yeah, even like the girl kind of looks like Hayden Panettiere as well.
Did they do the same things with actors again, like using straight actors? Maybe not.
I think it was motion capture. So yes, I believe.
But not so well known this time, I think, because Until Dawn had so many faces that you were like, oh, it's that person, you know, like. Oh god, I watched some streams of Until Dawn, and I was like, spooky. I can watch someone else being freaked out by this, but I couldn't play it myself.
Way too tense. It's way too tense. Like, I started playing it on PS4. And that and the lot, like, I can't play horror games just because they get tense and I get tired, and I'm just like, no. So I do like watching other people play it, just because I can like turn down the volume if it's getting scary, and I can like close my eyes and it still goes. Like, we get past, instead of like, if I close my eyes, we're going nowhere. This ship has stopped.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funnier watching other people get scared, and I'm like, that's funny, but I would be the exact same.
Got you. I would have been shitting my pants. Yeah. Like, I would have
like screaming, and I'm like, oh.
Well, not so nice, is it?
I just don't do horror games. Like,
yes.
I'm already like getting tense about the Zelda sequel, because I'm like, it's going to be so cool as a horror game, but I may not be able to get through it.
I don't know how it'll work as a horror. Like, it was pretty scary as a kid. I remember there was this level, and I don't remember what it was because my brother's version of the game, I was way too young.
Was it Majora's Mask?
I think so. We only had Majora's Mask and another one, Ocarina of Time. So it was one of the two. And there was this level where you were in a dark cave with, it was like grey stone bricks, and these dogs, these hellhounds, would run at you, and I would just turn it off. That was my first introduction to like a scary thing, and I was like, I'm never turning this game on again. I just wanted to be the boy from Super Smash Brothers, and I don't know how to change the game to Super Smash Brothers.
Oh goodness!
It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, little Bradley did not have a good time, because my brother would just play GoldenEye on the N64 all day, every day. I'm 20. I should have had like a PS2 at that time, but we had an N64, and then we had a PS2, and then we got a Wii, and then I got a PS4. So it's been a journey.
That's good though. N64 still probably
holds up.
It's probably my favorite gaming. I never had one, so my like best friend Brie had one, and I remember going to her place, and we would play Mario Kart, and we would play Super Bomberman, and it was great.
So I kind of have an interesting story about N64.
Yeah.
So my dad worked in the prisons, and back in the day, late night. Well, no, it would have been early 2000s. They had Nintendo 64s in the prison. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah, so they could play N64. I know, exactly. Until they realized that inmates could access the internet and talk to people through the N64. And so they got rid of hundreds and hundreds. Yeah, so you could play online. So it's not really the same thing, but you could like play online with people. But
wouldn't it have to be connected? How did they connect it?
I think they connected it without thinking. I don't know. It was really stupid. But I just remember this might have just been what my dad was telling me anyway. But he came home with 18 Nintendo 64s. 18 of them. And a copy of every game they had. It was like 2 big things. So out of all 18, we found some shit inside them as well. Like one had a homemade pipe, one had a razor blade stuck to it. Like I think it was like I almost said fishing rod, a toothbrush. And there was gum.
Same thing, really.
Like unchewed gum and a cigarette. And I'm like, anyways, so they were obviously getting it open, like hiding, stashing stuff in there.
I was expecting like weed and meth and
where are they getting weed and meth in prison?
I don't know.
Well,
the people sneaking it into them. I don't know how prison works, man. I don't know.
But yeah, out of all 18, only 4 worked. And so we had 4. We gave 3 of them away to other poor families because we were poor at the time. Well, we're fucking poor now. But
they probably didn't work because they're full of fucking chewing gum.
Yeah, but we took them apart. My brother took them apart, and he's like, "What is this shit?" And my dad literally saw the razor blade, and he's like, "Don't fucking touch that." And none of us touched it. And because we don't know what the fuck's on that. Some with hepatitis could have cut themselves with that. And my dad was still in, I think he might have still been in AIDS frenzy because he was like big scared. Yes, so that's my Nintendo 64 story.
That's intense.
I have a lot of those stories. I have a lot of stories about content that should not have been shared with a child that was shared by their nurse mother and prison guard father. So if you want to hear more of those stories, like the Jelly Man, just let me know. Just let me know.
And subscribe to us on YouTube so you get notified about when our videos come out, and you can hear more of Bradley's fucked up childhood.
We have fantastic content. We have close to 100 people on Facebook, and we have 12
that's
people
amazing.
on YouTube. But let's find a way to like cross promote. Let's just force everybody over.
YouTube's where it's at.
Yes,
but one of these people is Dan from Denmark, who's like the most supportive person of Bradley. So he makes up for like 100 subscribers.
Aww. Thanks, Dan.
He has the passion of 1,000 suns. So V, would you like to tell us about Fetish of the Week?
Yes.
Fetish of the Week.
Here we go. All right. Fetish of the Week. In our list of 547, you have selected 240, which is hyperphilia, compulsive desire for sex.
Oh, well, that seems pretty normal.
Hyperphilia?
Yes.
Like, hyperphilia. What's nymphophilia? What's nympho then?
Nymphomania
would probably be a hyperphilia.
Well, nymphomania is a clinical condition. This is about paraphilias.
But wouldn't a compulsion technically be a disorder? No?
Not necessarily, because disorder is about dysfunction. And if it's not dysfunctional...
Interesting. Social worker.
That's interesting.
Yes.
This is a sexual inclination. Okay.
So they just like to bang it out.
Or all the time.
Or another synonym is erotomania, apparently.
I have had boyfriends like that. Yeah, no, I completely. If the vans are rocking, don't come a knocking. You know what I mean?
That's at our house.
If the ferrets are screaming, don't come dreaming.
Call the RSPCA. Please call it RSPCA if they're screaming.
Speaking of screaming ferrets, you should go check out Ashlyn's TikTok because she did the Sandman challenge with her ferrets, and it's very fucking cute.
I made a TikTok. I got a TikTok. Am I cool now? Am I the youth?
Bitch, you gotta pretend like you didn't have TikTok before. I know you were like,
oh, I did not.
I'm watching TikToks. I'm like,
I watch Vines and TikToks with the same energy as Vines, but strictly on YouTube.
That's fair.
Like I legit did not have a TikTok, and then I was like, I need to do this fucking challenge. God damn it, I have to get TikTok. So
that's like people who smoke heroin instead of injecting it. it's just as bad. It's
fair. I'm like, I watch them on YouTube. Just it's not as bad.
It's not as embarrassing. I promise I'm not a millennial. I won't eat your Tide Pods, Dad. Fuck.
It's not even millennials. I'm going to get his name wrong. I think he's 12. My 12-year-old cousin is on TikTok. We went and so when my granddad died earlier this year, like everyone got together, as happens. And literally I was sitting there. No. Well, maybe. I didn't go to the funeral. I couldn't. Yeah, anyway, another story. We're getting tangential. But, I was sitting there with a 12-year-old talking about TikTok. I'm like, I'm too fucking old for this.
Yeah, I felt too fucking old trying to use it. I was like, how the fuck do I make this stupid...
So you slide down and you slide to the side. That's all you need to do.
I worked it out. It didn't take me long. I mean, I'm a person who has made multiple websites and uses Photoshop daily, but yet TikTok was like...
It was evading you.
I get like that. We're getting that way. There's new technologies coming out that we don't have a reference point for, and we're like, what the fuck? Anyway, Fetish
I'm older than both of you, so awful. But yes, we did go off on a tangent.
Sad for you, Elle. So sad. I'm older than both of you. Yeah, okay. It means you'll die first. You won't have to fucking exist in the heat death of the universe.
It's true. I get to leave before.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. You're pretty healthy. We're probably gonna, me and V are pretty fucked.
Point. You guys have got a lot of shit going on, so maybe not.
Yeah. Just before we close out, you've started a business, and I would like to plug that on this platform.
Aww,
because it is very cool.
I'm very excited. So I have launched Earth Witch hair color, which has been a good few years in the making. So I'm still testing colors and things, but I'm hoping to launch on Kickstarter soon, hopefully in a couple of months once I've sorted, had all my packaging and stuff sampled, but I am very excited.
Could I put in a personal request?
You may.
Can you get a turquoise that does not set in for fucking ever? So blues are hard because blues do set in forever.
So does green. So you've just picked the two hardest colors mixed together. It'll probably just stain your hair. Like it is what it is. I don't think I've ever found
a pastel one though.
You can mix any darker version into a pastel version of itself.
I would like that. I would like that very much. But you can make extra money being like pastel makers. That's what the unicorn brand I use does. They're like, this is mixable.
Is that Lime Crime?
I'm like, that's what?
Lime Crime? Is that what you're talking about? No,
I thought Lime Crime as well.
Yeah.
They have unicorn hair.
It's probably different. It's also they're like, you're a special little mermaid. You're a unicorn. You're like everything. I think it's called like Life or something. But it's Hair House Warehouse. Not to mention one of your brand ambassadors. Wait, what? Enemies.
Competitors?
Yeah, it was like, no.
Well, maybe in the future. But yeah, I think it's a really good idea because women need more choices than, signing up to a regular subscription service. And, you shouldn't have to burn your fucking head to get pretty hair. That's not how it should work. So how are you proposing people lighten their hair first?
I mean, you have to bleach it to begin with to get any semblance of a bright color. It depends on what sort of color you're wanting to put on there afterwards, but I've always been an advocate for Olaplex. Not sponsored by Olaplex, but
I fucking
that
wish.
Shit is amazing.
The bleach industry is huge.
Please, Olaplex, please sponsor us.
We'll drink it.
It's fucking amazing. But otherwise, like slow and gentle when you're bleaching your hair. But the good thing with semi-permanent dyes is that once you've reached, a level of blonde, you're done. You don't need to do any more damage. You can just use some fun semi-permanents which do no damage to your hair. They're conditioning. They're good for your hair. And then you can just travel the rainbow.
That is pretty fucking cool. I'm very excited. I will be buying some.
Will it be available through your existing online store, Ash?
No, there'll be a brand new online store. So it's going to have its own website all sorted,
so many stores.
Which is in the works. And as soon as that is sorted, I will then Kickstarter that bad bitch.
So in the meantime, they can find you at thewitchesvault.com.au?
No, I would go to our Instagram. So our Instagram is Earthwitch Hair Color, which is the best place to follow us at the moment. So I'm posting all of we also have a Facebook, which is cross-posted. So we posting all of our updates on there. I'm going to be posting about what I did today, which was doing a lot of testing of our colors, which I'm very excited. I want to see how well they last, how long they last in the sun and that sort of stuff, washing, all that good stuff. Yes. So all of that will be on Instagram. And we'll post that.
Are connected to ferrets. Die your ferrets.
Oh my God, Craig asked me that today. Craig was like, can we die
your fucking ferrets?
I was like, they won't sit still for that kind of carry on. Are you kidding me?
Also,
well, you could just, rub them down.
Yeah, but Evie's hair is technically probably already light enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Rodney's is, I think.
You'd be like, Olaplex.
Evie,
Olaplex your ferrets.
Yeah. Like Evie's too dark, but Rodney I could probably do. But he'd have to like sleep, and I'd have to like draw like a love heart on him quickly, and then like wipe it off. Yeah. Done.
Yeah. You're light. You're fine, bitch.
Yeah. Exactly.
So in summary, Earthwitch Hair is on Instagram.
Yes.
And then you also have your other store, which has all witchy home goodness and stuff on there.
Yeah. So that's mainly
spooky shit.
Spooky jewelry, clothing, accessories.
Will there be any updates around Halloween? Will we be seeing more products or just keeping the catalog?
Poor Craig. I keep sending Craig more products. I'm like, we need this on the store, and he's like, fucking slow roll. Like we have too much stuff. I'm like, honey, but we need it. We need it on there now. Like I really want a full like decorations section.
Yes,
he's
absolutely.
like, oh God, like
this is turning into an online Halloween store.
Pretty much, yeah. Like,
yes.
I don't know, not like heaps of tacky stuff, but like cool, stuff that you could even have all year round if you really wanted to, because it's like
you should
classy,
try and get those melted candles. Have you seen those?
No.
They're like the candles that they already have like the frothy outside, like it's a fully melted down candle. Well, how would you explain that?
Waxy?
What would you call that?
Drippy?
Waxy?
Dripping? Yeah, drippy outside. But that sounds gross.
I feel like frothy sounds more gross.
Moist outside.
Yeah. They're like LED moist ones, so they're not real candles, but then they're...
No, they have like they're actual candles. They're just they dip them upside down after it's done, and they cut out the top, and then it like drips down, and it just looks like I know this lady does them. Anyway, this is way too inside baseball. But we will be posting updates about the new hair dye on our Facebook page, the Don't Talk to Me podcast. You can find that in the link to this video. It has been a pleasure and an honor talking to you, ladies.
Yes.
We will see you next Monday, as always. Enjoy your week and fuck off, don't talk to me.
Bye.
Bye.